Hey Soul Sparklers, it's all happening.
With a soul sparkle. With a soul sparkle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Soul Sparkle Living Show. I'm so excited to be joined today by my special guest and one of my favorite people, Miss Karen Smith. Welcome to the show, Dr. Karen.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here.
This is our first time to connect again live, I guess, virtually live, since we spent a magical week on the island of Crete. And so I'm so excited to have you here today. You have so many wonderful things going on in your world, so much exciting news that you are creating, so much magic that you're creating. And I can't wait to just dive in and chat through all that is unfolding for you. So exciting. So I want to start with really the work that you're doing in the world, I think, is so beautiful and so powerful. And the way that you are incorporating really this long history of being a healthcare provider. You know, you've been in a chiropractic practice now for how many years? 25, 30 years?
27. Yeah.
20. Okay, I was close. And now you're kind of weaving all of that knowledge and wisdom and passion for health promotion and wellness into more coaching, speaking, and really bringing that through becoming a best-selling author, so on and so forth. Do you want to share a little bit about your journey and how you became inspired to really kind of take your work and your mission to the next level? Because I think it's really important to hear how you've made that part happen, right? And make that leap and that quantum leap into a new way of serving and being visible in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. So, back in 2004, my sister was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I packed up my kids from Iowa and flew to Seattle and took over her practice. It kind of was her caregiver and made sure that she uh, could heal without having to worry about the stress of a practice. At that time, I was only doing chiropractic part time in the state of Iowa. And so I wasn't really confident in my abilities and in treating clients. And so every day she worked with me in the basement when I would come home from work to ensure that I had the best capable abilities to treat her clients as well as future clients. Once she passed, which was in 2009, I kind of just threw myself into chiropractic and adjusting clients, flying back and forth from Iowa to Seattle every week for about 18 months, raising my boys, raising my kids. And about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, my youngest son graduated from college. And I really had that empty nest syndrome that what is my purpose now? Because my purpose always has been tied to caring for somebody, whether it be my sister or my kids. Um, and it wasn't that the kids didn't still need me. They just didn't need me on a consistent basis. And so I kind of started diving into, I've always wanted to be a motivational speaker. I've always wanted to bring hope and joy and love to people. And I had the opportunity to go to Texas to see Brendan Burchard. And my son was struggling at that point in time with some things going on in his life. So I asked him to come along. And we went down there, met some great people. And during that time, Brendan was rolling out a program at a lower cost than what it was going to be in the future to fly to LA once a month to be able to fine tune who you were, figure out who you were actually, fine tune what you were going to bring into the world. And so I started traveling out there, met some amazing people who were actually in the coaching world, in the speaking world. And when I watched Brendan on stage, I realized that his story really resonated with me. You know, he wasn't this person that came from wealth, wasn't this person that came from all kinds of money and had all these people help him. He built his own way. And I realized that if he can do it, I can do it. And so I traveled out there 6 different times, watched him on video because we were able to do it on Zoom as well, and watched him on video a few times and realized that now was the time. If I didn't do it now, I didn't know when I was ever going to do it. And so I started reaching out to different organizations. ULA was a organization that I belonged to sell different supplements and be a coach. And that's where I met Kate Butler, which is a publisher, and started doing some of her programs. And she called me one day and asked me if I would be interested in being in one of her books. And so I said, absolutely. So wrote a book with her. That's how I met you, was through her. I started following you and doing some trainings with you and realized that the only way to be able to get out there and help others is by being seen. And the only way to be seen is by doing some big risks and doing some big things that I really didn't know if I was capable of doing. I really didn't know if I had the confidence to do. And I just put one step in front of the other and started. I wrote another book, went over to Greece to do this healing retreat with you, and came back a whole different person. When I got home, I planned a retreat. I have 7 out of 10 people that are booked in that retreat. And I'm going to be doing a speaking engagement in Las Vegas in February for Empower Her, as well as writing 3 more chapters in books in 2026 for She Rises.
Oh
So,
my gosh, so incredible. And how many people are gonna be at that event, at the Empower Her event?
yeah, 40,000 people.
40,000 people. Talk
Yeah.
about next level visibility. That's incredible, darling. I'm so excited for you. And it's so inspiring, I think, for anyone that's listening. There's a few key things that you mentioned that I really want to anchor in. And it's the fact that in order to make a bigger impact, you have to be visible to more people. You have to show up in a way where people can be aware of you, that they'll hear your message. And I think you have such a beautiful, testimony of taking that passion for caring for people that you've had your entire life. That's your nature, that's who you are, and being able to funnel it into a way that you can inspire and impact, 40,000 women and beyond and beyond and beyond that, with that message, and letting them know that they too can take their passion and create a purpose and a mission and a, movement from it, which is exactly what you're doing by sharing your story. And you shared with me before we got on that your son sent you that beautiful message today, that it's not because you're my mom, not because I know the story, but you wrote something so beautiful that you are going to touch the hearts of women around the world with what you've experienced. And now you're sharing it in a way that they'll be able to inspire themselves into doing something maybe more meaningful than they thought they could, or being more visible. So you are inspiring others by doing the life that you're doing in the way that you are. And I love that so.
Thank you. Me too. It
Mm.
feels so good to be able to step into my practice and, clients to say, where are you going on your next trip? They get so excited about it. And for them to tell me that I actually am an inspiration to them as well, that, if I can do it, they realize that they can do it too, it's a really cool, humbling feeling to know that I'm touching not just the people in my practice, but, even their families, because, that growth, it's so important, right? Like, I think we just live life waiting for that peace, to find that peace, Piece, in life that will bring us peace, Peace, right? And sometimes we never find it.
And people go their whole life and never feel that.
Yeah.
But just that deep level of satisfaction and fulfillment. I had a conversation yesterday on the show with someone that, has made a big transition as well in his life and in his work. And now this just like deep soul fulfilling knowing that you are living up to your highest potential. I think that was something I was always afraid of, that I wouldn't get to the highest potential, or meet my highest possibility. And I think
Yeah.
now we're all kind of on this trajectory of we're only going to be able to do the highest calling. We're only going to be able to do the work that we're by design, divine design, meant to be doing. And I think as time goes on, more and more people are going to be stepping into that fullest expression of themselves and their soul, which is, I think, so beautiful that's exactly what you're doing by transitioning and bringing it all through, right? The chiropractic, the healthcare, the wellness, and even in your retreats, you're incorporating that into your work is in the world. So it's so beautiful.
Well, and it feels so good to know, back, when I was younger, I always felt that I was meant for more. I always felt that I was missing something, that something just wasn't jiving with just being a chiropractor, and not just being a chiropractor. I mean, that's a big deal to be a chiropractor, but I always felt I was destined for more, and I feel that I'm now stepping into that, and I feel that I'm making the changes that I need to make to be able to make that possible.
Yeah. Well, and the things that we spoke about in Crete, it was, around your own personal well-being. It was your personal relationships. Like, how can you elevate everything?
Yeah.
And that is exactly what I watched you do in that short period of time. You you just went for it. And it was so cool to watch you just be like, I'm all in. I'm a yes for the highest possibility for my own self, because we know as leaders and teachers and guides and mentors, when we allow ourselves to step into the fullest radiance of our own well being, that's when we're going to be able to serve in the highest and best way. So, watching you completely like step fully into it, it was so cool because you were just like, I'm brave, I'm doing it, I'm going all in. And I think the way you're doing your life is, again, just that inspiration for giving other people permission to do the same,
Yeah.
right? You're going first. And that's what leaders do. And you're leading in a beautiful and magical way. And I can't wait to see the women that emerge from your retreat and see how they feel after they've spent time with you, because your work is such a gift, such a gift. I know that we talked earlier about the idea that you were going to incorporate these books that you're writing into some of your retreats. Do you want to share a little bit about kind of what your vision is for that? So, in case people are drawn to follow you and connect with you, they want to know kind of what the path might look like.
Absolutely. So right now I have two books that I wrote chapters in. One is called Believe Beyond, and the other one's called Impact Effect. And my goal is to not make every retreat the same, because I want people who are coming to the first retreat to come to the second retreat, and the third retreat, and the fourth retreat. I want them to have a different experience every time they come. And so with the new books this next year coming out, there'll be three books as well. Every book I want to have a theme based upon, or every retreat I want to have a theme based upon that book. So the first one is we're going to first do the grounding one, which is going to be local. The second one will be Believe Beyond, what you can achieve if you are willing to open up and believe beyond your own capabilities. And the third one will be the impact effect. What kind of impact do you have on the people in your world or the people around you? And what kind of impact do others that are in your life or in your little arena, what kind of impact do they have on you? And so when we can sort those out and decipher, what's for the higher good and what we should what no longer serves us, then we can move forward and create the life of our dreams, create the ones that we want to accomplish.
That's so beautiful. And I think that is going to resonate so powerfully with the people that are in your community, already in your practice, in your local community as well. Because again, you're the way shower. You're going first and laying that foundation of what's possible. And I'm excited to see how their path unfolds by being part of that vortex, like really diving in with you, really stepping into their highest potential and their next level as well. And I think, again, when you go and speak to the 40,000 women in Vegas, like what an inspiration that's going to be, Karen. Like that's so exciting that you're going to be able to bring your vision and your voice to that incredible group of women that will light them up and inspire them as well. What's going to be your topic, do you know, for that conversation that they're going to have there?
I haven't decided yet. So the theme on the talk that day, which is February 22nd in the Allegiant Stadium out in Las Vegas, is going to be Empower Her. So, what are you doing in your life or what are you doing in your business that can empower, the person who's next to you or the person who you're going to meet in 3 years or the person you're going to meet in 10 years? What are you doing right at this moment to empower not only yourself, but everybody that you come in contact with?
Yeah. Oh, that's going to be great. Well, and I think that's what's so beautiful about the work that you're doing personally. And I think you agree that anytime we are leading a movement or sharing a message, we have to be the embodiment of that teaching, of that work, right?
Yes.
So you have really been the, again, the way shower, the lighthouse of, you're embodying everything that you are speaking of, that you're sharing about, and really providing a roadmap for other women to do that as well, which I think is also really beautiful and powerful when we are able to use our own personal, stories and messiness sometimes, right? Because the transformation is not easy, right? It's
No,
not sexy.
no,
It's a snotty mess sometimes. At
it
least
can't.
for me, I think the beauty of it is when you're on the other side of that, of the mess, and you turn it into magic, like you alchemize it. And I know that your journey has not been easy, right? It's not been ease or grace, but you are stepping through it in such a way that allows you to guide and provide that same level of guidance to others that might be in the messy middle, right?
Yeah. I was told
And
once in college that you have 2 days to feel sorry for yourself. And
Mhm.
after those 2 days, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps and you move forward and you make things happen. Because if you continue sitting in that muck or that, wallowing in your pity, you're never going to go forward. You're never going to create anything. You're never going to be the person that you were designed to be.
Right.
And I've always, I was 19 years old, 20 years old when someone told me that. That's been kind of my mantra. So,
Mm. Yeah. Well, you should be really proud of yourself because you've overcome an incredible hardships and heartbreaks and grief and loss and all of that. And you've been able to still shine like a beacon on a hill. Like it's beautiful to see, like that right there. Your smile is like light beam. It's the best.
thank you.
Sharing a message in a really beautiful way. I love that for you. And like I said, it was so beautiful to watch you come in to our special magical container, in Crete. And by the end of it, it was just like glowing. You were just glowing. And it feels like you've just continued to anchor in all of the work that you did while we were there and all of the practices and all of the decisions. That was a choice point for you, it feels like. Like you really
Yeah.
shifted into a whole nother trajectory that sometimes it takes being away from your regular day-to-day routine, which I think is such the power of retreat, of these transformational opportunities, is that you get out of your day-to-day deal, right? Your
Yeah.
schedule, your surroundings, and you really are able to almost quantum leap into a whole nother timeline, which I
Yeah.
think is powerful. And I think that's beautiful that you're going to be offering the opportunity for women in your world to have that experience as well.
Well,
It's
you know
so
what? It was interesting. When I got home, the clients were asking me, I had various clients say, what was your best thing about Crete? What was your best thing about Greece? Was it beautiful? Was it this? Was it that? Yes, it was beautiful. The ocean, the weather, getting to meet you in person, everything was amazing in that regard. I would say the most profound thing that I brought home with me was it's okay to take time for me. It's okay to focus on me. And when I was put into that little, so far away from home, and able to just sit back and figure out, what do I want? Every day we're in our day-to-day life. We get up, we make coffee, we go to work, we take care of other people, we come home, and you talk to your husbands or your spouse or whatever it might be. When do you have you time? Right. And so when I was forced to take that time and just sit and write and figure out what my next steps are going to be and what my next plan for my next business adventure was going to be, it was just so enlightening. It was so freeing for me. And I recommend everybody to do it. And it doesn't have to be Greece. It doesn't have to be Italy. Yeah, those are amazing places and obviously want to go back. But it doesn't have to be that to be able to take you time. I found that I now set that aside more than I did before I left, before I went over there. So
It's so wonderful to hear that. And I think you're right. So many of us, I think women specifically are, sometimes we feel guilty or we feel like we don't deserve it or, everything else comes first, right? And we put ourselves on a back burner. And there is such an incredible magic that happens. Like you said, when you carve out space just for you, just for your dreams, and what came from that was just the space to dream, the space to expand, the space to envision what's next and what you want your life to actually look like intentionally. Because so many times we just go on to the next thing, the next meal, the next client, the next event, the next day. And we never take that time to create the life, create our magical life, right? And I think that's what you've done and that's what we were able to do there together was just really allow you to outline, okay, this is how I want to serve. This is what I want my life to look like in 3 months, in 6 months, in 6 years. And then being brave enough to set those things in motion, which is what you did. You just got in there. You're like, I'm making this, I'm doing this, and I'm launching this. And it was just the most fun. It was like this effervescent energy that came through. And I think that's probably why my business is called Soul Sparkle because it's like watching women light up from the inside out because their soul is alive again, like lit up again. And
Illuminating.
I saw in you here in Greece, and it was so wonderful. And now you're going to pass that on to the women that you're going to be working with in a deeply intimate way. And it's not, um, it's not easy to step into those containers of transformation. Now, it's not for everyone, but it is for
Right.
the brave that are ready to make a change and they're willing to do the work that is sometimes uncomfortable, but it's deeply, deeply transformational when you can be really, really honest of like, this is working for me. This part isn't working for me. This is what I really want. Can I really let myself have everything I've ever dreamed of? And I'm so excited for you and so proud of you that that to me is exactly what you're doing. You're giving yourself permission to have the life of your dreams and you're being brave enough to create it every single day. Isn't that fun?
Feels great.
It's
Yeah.
so good. I'm
That
so
feels
excited.
great.
So if you were to share just a few bits of, one or two gems or tips for anyone that's listening that is looking to kind of make a change or make a shift, can you can you share anything with them that you would like for them to know that has been a benefit for you that might help them on their journey as well?
Absolutely. So I firmly believe that we live lives directly influenced by people that we surround ourselves with. And so if you want to have a larger life, if you want to have a life filled with love and joy and happiness and create the life of your dreams, then find somebody who can walk beside you to do that. Whether it be, Hayley, or whether it be, publishing your book, or whether it be going to a seminar like I did with Brennan Bouchard. It's okay to do that. It's okay to open up and say, you know what, this is what I want. And I'm going to find the people that are already doing it and follow them and walk alongside them to be able to create that. So that'd be number one. Number two, you know, it, this doesn't come without fear. Fear is very normal in everybody's life. But when you decide to step over, what people have put down instead of picking that up, you step over that fear, you're able to then create what you want versus what everybody else wants for your life. And that's
Mhm.
okay. It's okay to have disagreements. It's okay to have differences of opinions. I found that when you're true to yourself, that's probably the most important lesson in my life is living my life for me. And that doesn't mean you're selfish. It doesn't mean that you're a terrible person. What other life would you rather live? I mean, would you rather live your life for somebody else or would you rather live your life for you? And that's where I'm at. So,
I think that right there is the key to really, I would say, liberation,
yeah,
freedom. Liberation is when you let go of caring what other people think, of the expectations of others, and really being honest with yourself and letting yourself make the decisions and choices that are the most loving for you. That's one of the things I talk about that I've really sat with over the last several years in a way that, because, I do my life in a very unconventional way. So sometimes I have to really think, what's the most loving thing I can do for myself? Like for myself right now, right here, right now. What's the
yeah,
most loving choice for myself? Not friends, not anyone else, but like, what is the most loving thing? Where am I going to be the happiest? What can I do that's going to bring me the most joy? Because I know that I know that I know if I am lit up from the inside out and my joy is at the highest possible level, that's when I'm going to be the greatest gift to the world. It's in my joy, right? So if you're in a situation or your life is not providing or creating enough of that feeling of fun and joy and beauty, etc., that's when you start to need to, just need to make some shifts. And like you said, it's not easy and you have to be really brave, but it's so worth it. And it's our greatest contribution to the world, truly, when we are lit up all the way. I love
I would agree 100% with that.
Love it. Karen, thank you so much for your time today. It's always, obviously a pleasure. Anytime I get to be with you, whether it's virtually in real life or any other form. But thank you so much for sharing your story. I want to make sure that everyone that's listening knows how to find you. So we're going to make sure we have the links that you provided for everyone to your books. I'm assuming that we'll have those as well. So I'll make sure of that. And then your socials so they can follow your journey along the way. Does that sound good?
Super. Sounds
Alright.
great. Thank you so much, Haley.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone that's tuned in for listening. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
Sparkle, so sparkle. With a soul sparkle.